difficulty there. I'd like to welcome everybody to the work session for February 9th. I ask everybody to please silence your cell phones, and everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, I'll ask for a moment of self-reflection, please. Thank you very much. Agenda approval. I don't have any changes. Does anybody else have any changes? Al, any changes?
I'm on the agenda. No, I'm okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, approval of the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Approval of the meeting minutes from the reorganization meeting. I had a chance to look them over. I believe Councilman Morel did as well.
I'll make a motion to approve them as read or
As presented.
as presented.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Abstract of claims, Councilman Myers.
February 9th, 2026, I move to approve the regular abstract of claims 25-03671 25-03712. And that amount is $663,502.83. And the abstract 26-00104 26-00291, amount of $1,168,087.32, and recommend total payment in the amount of $1,831,590.15, and post audit payment in the amount of $0. That's a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Department head statements. Tamara, anything? Chief?
Just report busier than normal January. We had 1,344 calls and 48 arrests. We are seeing an uptick in check frauds again. Checks being stolen from mailboxes and being washed and checked and cashed. We do have suspects for the several cases that we took, but we're encouraging residents to bring it into the post office or hand it to the mail carrier, not just deposit it in their mailboxes. We'll be putting out some stuff on that.
Okay.
Definitely seen an uptick in the last few weeks.
Okay. Thank you very much. Jackie, you're on the agenda. Deputy Supervisor Conrad, anything?
Is there a location or pattern to any of this?
No, unfortunately not. And in most cases, the mailboxes that they were taken, the post office boxes they were dropped in were outside the town, but the residents lived here mailing bills.
Anything, Deputy Supervisor? And Zano, anything?
Yeah, we got a pretty good sized water break on Brewer Drive Friday that we took care of, got that fixed up, we shoveled out hydrants, so whatever we can find it, we was staying pretty steady. We got a little water leak up in the tank, we're gonna help the county tomorrow morning to do.
Okay. Yeah, I know they never had one when it was 80 and sunny. I know the village had a terrible time this weekend with them. So
62 days.
yeah. So, okay. Jeff, anything?
Nothing today.
Okay. Bob, anything?
A couple real minor things. We continue to work with National Grid on getting that street light at Oak Run Phase 5. Sent that board resolution to them today. And then we are expecting an internal draft for the Morgan Farms I&I project distributed later this week, and we'll get that over to Jeff to have him take a look at it and get to the board once we have all the comments incorporated.
Okay. Ed Zimmerman, anything from the building inspector's office?
Just that, I don't know if you were going to bring it up, but we have our comprehensive plan workshop committee meeting February 26th at the senior center at 6 p.m.
Yep.
And that's it for now.
Thank you. Let's see, Melinda Olick online.
Hi,
Yeah.
Yes, we had our Super Bowl party on Friday, and that was well attended, and did our football shirt drawing, that went well. And this Wednesday will be our Valentine's lunch, so that will be fun. I think we're expecting about 40 people, give or take. And on the 23rd, Monday, for a change, we're having our flower arranging class because AARP tax prep starts at the center this Friday, the 13th, and we have no open appointments. They fill up fast, so, yeah, but they are doing them at the Youngstown Presbyterian Church and I believe the Johnson Center, so people can give a call to those two places.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Highway Superintendent Mike Weiss couldn't make it tonight, but he did send me a letter he asked me to read. This is from Mike Weiss. He said, over the last 2 weeks with heavy snowfall activity, the Highway Department has been extremely busy. We've been working extended hours to keep up with the snow as well as drifting snow this season. I'm very proud of the hard work and tireless hours that my crew has put in so far this winter. We will continue to work very hard at keeping our roads clear and safe for our residents. With the small break that we had with the weather this last week, we were able to free up a crew to clear the snow on Center Street in support of our local businesses, and in the event that we continue to get more snow this season, we will have a place to put it while keeping the residents and visitors safe. We've also been making an attempt to clear snow from dead ends and cul-de-sacs. We plan on continuing to clear more of Center Street this week, weather permitting. So, kudos to the Highway Department. I think if you just drive around Western New York, I think you realize what a great job our town Highway Department does, and I give kudos to them as well. So, I believe that is it. Nothing under old pending business. Under new business, just so they don't have to wait till the end. We have our librarian, Jill Palermo, and our board member, Fred Casel from the library. They wanted to talk to us about the roof. Would you like to speak?
Thanks, Dave. We have more tarps on our books in the library this past week than we've ever imagined. We have 4 significant, actually after today, 5 significant roof leaks that have been going on because of the extreme cold and warming. And last Monday, I contacted Steve, and he was good enough to have Tim and Ed come over to the library, and they got up on ladders and stuck their heads through the ceiling tiles and identified, unfortunately, more problems than we ever thought we had. Probably because mostly due to, I think, poor construction on the contractor or whatever, the way they describe things. Bottom line is we're in the process of contacting our insurance company and contacting roofers and people to repair the building. Building's old, and it's leaking like a sieve. And Jill, I'm going to ask her to talk about some of the things that she's been trying to do this past week to get people out there to resolve the issue, and it hasn't been easy.
Well, I wanted to thank you for coming out too. It was very big help with Ed and Mr. Masters and yourself. You did recommend that I call a Buffalo environmental type company to get like an energy efficient, have them look at the building and tell us what we can do better to make it more energy efficient. I know lack of insulation is a problem. So far I have not heard back from them. Our original shingled roofer sent an email. I think he copied Tim Masters on it. It kind of sounds like they just don't want to do anything more at the library. So I did reach out to Blue Ox Roofing, and we're just on their list waiting. I just think at this point, with everyone having probably roof issues, that all these companies are so busy, and we just have to wait for them to respond.
And like I told Jill, they are a municipal library. We 100%, I believe 100%, fund the library. So, we're going to try and help out as much as we can. These are all energy costs, which we can use our town energy fund through NIPA. And hopefully, with Ed and Tim going up there, they saw some major issues, just even with insulation. We'll follow up, and if we come up with a solution, hopefully it's not incredibly expensive. expensive, and we're able to help.
Thank you.
Okay?
Got nobody to get the snow off the roof, or is it snow, is there a lot of snow on the roof still?
Certain sections, you can definitely tell where there's a lack of insulation, because those sections are clear. I don't know, did you kind of looked at the roof, but there's
Yeah.
still quite a bit up there, right?
There's a lot of ice, and, it's what everybody's going through right now. We're losing heat at the top, and it's all forming ice dams at the bottom of the roof, and that's a different roof than flat and pitch roofs where they come together, a lot of flashing, so
According to Ed and Tim, it's definitely a design flaw.
it's got some issues,
Yeah,
for sure.
so, but
I just had a question. Has there been any loss as far as books, as far as archival material?
The collection so far is pretty good. The
Okay.
only thing that got the most wet were DVDs, but those aren't really obviously other than the paper sleeve in there, but they're all plastic.
Okay.
So we haven't lost books or anything yet. Caught that in time to put all the tarps up. We have a lot of damp carpets. We do have water in some of the walls. I had ServPro out last week to assess that, and they can, whatever the little devices that they measure the walls, they can check the water in it. So far, the estimate from them came back, it's just over $5,000, but obviously we have to wait, because this is an ongoing issue until the roof is fixed and insulation is.
Okay, did you happen to get fans or anything from them as far as the carpet fans to be able to dry it out? Okay, is that?
Carpet, we pretty much,
Is it pretty much dry?
it's not too bad now. We were
Okay.
using, we have a shop vac, and then, someone recommended maybe it was Ed to use the carpet cleaner.
Yeah.
So that, well, the carpets are.
Anything that soaks up water, right?
Yeah, so the carpets are okay at this point. In the main section where the worst was, where it flowed through like 3 rooms, it was tile floor.
Okay.
We didn't have to worry so much about that.
I'm just concerned as far as if there's gonna be a mold problem that starts after this, so.
Did the insurance come out, or are they gonna
The
send
insurance
something?
adjuster was out, yes. So he just told me to, keep updating him as either new things happen, or if anyone comes out, or, you know, pictures of where there's insulation or lack of insulation. Because right now it's just gonna be listed as an ongoing claim.
okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we do have a witness to the fine work that Ed, Tim, and myself did, right, Mr. Lyle?
Bring it right around.
He was in the
Thank you.
library the day we
Yeah.
went there.
Oh, that's
so.
good. Well, I think it's important to support the library.
Oh,
so.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
And if we're able to, we definitely, I was hoping we would. Under my liaison report, we have our Justice Court annual report. This needs to be done every year. It's the receipt and approval of Justice Court 2025 annual report, whereas the town of Lewiston, in the operation and facilitation of the town of Lewiston Justice Court, is an obligation to serve in an oversight capacity of the town of Lewiston Justice Court relative to the receipt and disbursement of funds and the maintenance of records relating to said receipts and disbursements. And whereas the town of Lewiston and town of Lewiston Justice Court are subject to 22 NYCRR number 214.9 and the New York State Controller Regulation and Guidance relating to the collection, disbursement of funds, and the record keeping therefore. And whereas the town of Lewiston Justice Court, having submitted its 2025 annual report on the 29th day of January 2026, now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of Lewiston acknowledges receipt of the town of Lewiston Justice Court 2025 annual report and hereby formally approves the same. That is a resolution. I'll need a second.
Second.
Anybody have any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And if anybody wants to see it, I think Jackie, it's in your office, right? Local law establishing residency requirements. So a few years back, the town of Lewiston realized how hard it was to get people we would give people 6 months to move into the town. And they couldn't, almost impossible to find a home in town. So we changed our residency requirement that it could be town of Lewiston or any adjoining municipality. However, the deputy clerk's positions had to remain town of of Lewiston residents. However, as Al did the research, Al, go ahead and explain.
Sure. So, and the reason for the residency requirement for the town clerks is obviously if Tamara were to become sick or whatnot, there's a certain number of her duties that require her to be an electorate of the town of Lewiston. So the town clerk's office requires a little bit more assistance, and in doing her research, she's found a number of candidates that qualify but are not residents of the town. So as a compromise, I reached out to the Association of Towns. They said so long as we could designate one of the clerks, or deputy clerks I should say, as a resident, and then the others kind of differentiate between the positions. And in this law, we have first, second, and third deputies. This law allows the clerk's office to propose candidates for the second and third deputy clerks positions for people who are residents of either the town of Lewiston or a contiguous municipality, namely Niagara Falls, Youngstown, etc. But that would allow us to open up the pool of resources to that body of individuals, and hopefully get a better qualified individual here to help the clerk's office, while at the same time maintaining that first deputy clerk as a resident of the town. And so that's what this law does. It allows for us to hire those second and third deputy clerks from outside of the town proper.
So basically, we just need to introduce, local law. Three.
Number 3.
Okay. So it'll be Town of Lewiston local law number 3 of 2025, or 2026, I'm sorry. Do we need to make a motion to introduce it, or should we just introduce it?
Yep, you should make a motion, because then you have to have a public hearing.
Okay.
So, yes.
So can I get a motion to introduce the law?
I've read the law, and I'll make the motion that we introduce it. I'll second.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
And we will schedule a public hearing for our next town board meeting on the 23rd of February at 6 p.m. February 23rd, 6 p.m. will be the public hearing on local law number 3, 2026.
I just had a couple of questions, if I may. Well, I guess as this goes to the public hearing, if there's a way that we can actually spell out the adjoining municipalities, so that there is no question as to which ones they are.
Sure.
And then this is just a question for myself. Does it go to a special election if the clerk and the deputy clerk positions go vacant for some rhyme or reason at the same time? Because I would assume that it would go to the second or third, but
If
we
that was a
can't do that if
circumstance,
they're
I
not
think,
residents.
I think there are provisions in the law to do an emergency appointment of a clerk.
Okay.
That would be, I mean, I could research that for you, I don't know specifically, but I'm almost positive that there are provisions in that circumstance where you need someone who's an electorate.
Okay, because I just want to make sure that,
On an emergency basis.
you know, the bases, or if it needs to be covered here, then it's covered here, but if it's covered elsewhere, then,
Right.
okay, thank
We
you.
got 2 weeks.
There we go. I'm ready. Yeah.
Well, I'll be going to the library, digging under some tarps.
Very good.
The town board make that approval anyways?
No, well, for an actual deputy, yes, or excuse me, an actual town clerk would be appointed by the town.
Yes.
Yeah, it was an emergency, but, okay, I see the concern,
Of course.
but, okay, do we need to make a motion for a public hearing, or no, we just announce a public hearing?
You set it for an emergency, I'm sorry, for a public hearing, so yeah, I think that's fine. I think we need a motion, but if you want to do it as a motion, that's fine also.
Okay, we have a motion for a public hearing
I'll second.
on the 23rd at 6 p.m., we have a second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion
Tamara, that would be in the newspaper, right?
Yes.
in Cal Essex Development.
So the board's familiar, if not overly familiar with this particular development. It's off of Bronson Drive. It was originally proposed by the Rubino brothers, who had gone through all of the formalities with the town of Lewiston. At that time, the town had a different highway superintendent. And the plan was, for all intents and purposes, different than the one that's before the town today and being built. There were a number of formalities that through the process, the developer should have done a stormwater and drainage district. They did not. A second developer came in and took over the project, made some changes. From the town's perspective, the original proposal was kind of off the table. Tim Masters and I had spoken a number of times, trying to get the new developer to pick up the pieces from where the old developer left off. Where we ended up was that the current developer, through their attorneys, did not believe that the public hearing conducted back when the Rubino brothers were doing the project was sufficient to create a drainage district for that particular project. So they've advised me that they are more than willing to do the legwork to get that district formalized and adopted and filed with the county clerk's office, but that they want us to redo a public hearing for purposes of that drainage district. So what I'm asking the town board to do is calling for a public hearing at our next board meeting for a drainage district for the Essex Development subdivision. I will provide the clerk with the language to post, and hopefully at the end of that public hearing there will be no further impediments to the developer moving forward with the state and those other powers that be.
I'll make that motion, we set up for a public hearing for the next meeting.
February 23rd, 6 p.m. Following the other public hearing for the resolution. We have a motion, do we have a second?
Yeah, I second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions for Mr. Bax? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you, and I'll get that right over to you.
Okay. Finance, budget revisions?
I previously submitted some 2025 budget revisions in your board packets for your review. Tonight I asked for approval.
I went over the budget revisions with Jackie the other day, and I'll make a motion to accept them as presented.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions for Jackie? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Councilman Byrd.
I'd like to make a motion for a lateral transfer from part-time to full-time for Officer Michael Buzzio at the contracted step 2 rate of $28.97 an hour. He's met all probationary and civil service requirements, qualifying him to be a lateral transfer.
And what is the effective date?
Today.
Today?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a motion?
That's a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Councilman Morial.
I got nothing tonight.
I just want to let everybody know that Councilman Morial will be leaving us tomorrow. Warmer destinations.
I'm doing what the birds do.
Councilman Myers, anything?
Just a correspondence from the Sanborn Historical Society. We have their regular meeting coming up on Tuesday, February 24th at 7 p.m. at the Farm Museum. And I have a speaker series entitled First Ladies by Janet Harness. And doors at 7, refreshments are served, public's invited, and donations are accepted.
Okay. Councilwoman Wechter.
Nope, no reports, but I also would like to thank the highway department for the great job that they've been doing this winter. It is always a pleasure to come off the 90 or to come from surrounding areas into Lewiston, because you know the roads are gonna be clean. So I appreciate it.
Yeah. I know they had some struggles with the drifting. You know, everything looks perfect and you get an open seal.
Yeah.
It drifts across, and there's no worse feeling in the world when you're going the speed limit and you come to an area where all of a sudden it's covered across the road.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, they've done a really
Well,
good
they've done a
job.
great job. And what they did in the village, on Center Street, right? I mean, they haul away a lot of snow. Bobby even called me up and said, we got the full force up there, with trucks and everything, yeah.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, so thankfully, the weather cooperated, because they were technically, as Mike put it, losing the road. It was coming in so far, they couldn't push it back any further, so, yeah, kudos to them, thank you. Privilege of the floor, public comment, our one resident left, so I'm assuming nobody wants to speak. Upcoming board commission meetings, historic preservation is February 10th at 5:45 p.m. Zoning board, February 12th at 6 p.m. Planning board, February 19th at 6:30 p.m. Our regular town board meeting on February 23rd at 6 p.m. with 2 public hearings. And also on February 26th at 6 p.m. at the senior center, our comprehensive plan public meeting, just a question and answer type period with Wendell Engineering, who's doing our comprehensive plans. Any concerns, any suggestions, that would be the time to address it. And with that, I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Supervisor, just one thing.
Yep.
This, with the weather and everything, may want to ask people if they're able to take out their fire hydrants.
Yes.
Because mine was buried when I took it out today. It just
Help your fire companies out. Take out your fire hydrants and,
Oh, and your post boxes.
You want your mail?
Yep.
Yeah.
Want your mail.
so, in a path for your dog in the backyard. With that, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Have a good week, everybody. Thank you.
Can I have, my license letter, please?